Then you come into, let's say, a war zone in Call of Duty in there, and then you get killed by a girl. It's just like, you know, who is the warrior here? I should be the warrior. Tonight I have with me, not two ladies, but three ladies. Unfortunately, Mike is saying hello, Vicky. Unfortunately,
Mike.
Vicky's brother took her camera, so she will not be on camera. We have a nice photo of her, so you guys will know how Vicky looks like. But she won't be moving. So that's
That's the sad part.
yeah. And then, of course, with me are also Ula and Emma. So,
Hi.
hello. So, how are you ladies doing on this Monday night, which will be the ignition night, like Monday. So.
Ooh, start of the week.
Very, very, very good.
All right. Emma is all smiley like always. Where is Marcho? Where is Marcho?
Yeah.
He's
What?
missing. He's missing the smile. Where is he?
You come at the start, not like 20 minutes from the end.
Yeah. Ula?
Is that the word mondish?
Monday. I guess now it is, If it wasn't, now it is. We have
A new
All right.
word.
All right, yeah. So my part is how to say, I cried a river today. We had a funeral. We buried the grandpa. I was like a little, yeah. I don't want to say it. I just let everything out. I was like in between. I was like, why am I crying so much? Why am I crying so much? And I was just like, shut your ass, brain. Let me. If I need to cry, let me cry. Now is the moment to cry. It's just like, then I come home, see a son, see a wife. There's no reason to cry there. That is, a happy place. So that is why. So yeah, but it's like I probably feel the bucket. It's just like all the tears I never let out went out today. So yeah, in that manner, it was sad but a good day. Yeah, for Grandpa exactly. It wasn't a long for him. All finished in 2 weeks. So luckily that for us it was like a blister. You pull it and you have to rip it down. That's how he went out. And so yeah, that's how I am. But anyway, Night Ignition is still here. Grandpa is not here. I am. So let's do the things that alive people do. Let's bring aliveness to other people as well. And today's topic in Night Ignition podcast is women and gaming. Now, we usually start with the dictionary, and there is no such thing in dictionary. So then, Vicky is more like this urban thing girl and stuff like that as well. Where do we find it? And Urban Dictionary. So then I type in Urban Dictionary gamer girl, and this is what it came out. This is what gamer girl is in Urban Dictionary. It's the ideal girlfriend who plays video games, but extremely rare, said to only be found in the magical land of Canada. All right? This is it. Now you know. And anyway, what do you... What?
Sorry, Mikey in the comments.
Mikey was like, WTF. Yeah, well, Mikey, it's like, you gotta go in Canada. They're only found there, they're probably on the other parts of planet as well, but not ideal girlfriend. They're just girlfriends. The ideal ones are in Canada. Nah, message. But okay, what do you guys hear when you hear the expression gamer girl or women in gaming, like woman who games? It's like, what comes to your mind?
For me, I see her as a badass. It reminds me of my situation in sport because I was in kickboxing and there were no ladies almost. So I was in a men's world. So I see it like similar to that, just in the not in the, like, I was fighting in the real world, like physically, but this is some other kind of fighting, but still, yeah, like a badass.
Yeah, I connected to gamer's wet dream, and really, the first thing it pops into my mind is also all of the girls, or now women, however, that used to get on really great with with boys, not girls, but that their company was primarily boys. So this is also something for me, because they kind of then swam into that, but yeah, God knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say definitely a minority of gamers are girls. So seeing other girls play just always fun because you don't see a lot of girls actually play video games, which is sad in a way.
Yeah. And for me, as a boy, as a man, however, as a male, it's like back in the days, when I remember like 10 years ago, when we starting playing League of Legends. That was my first big multiplayer online game. It was like uh, mostly play with friends, and start the cousin enrolled me in, who is 8 years younger, so I play with, like, boys. And I started playing, I don't know, at the age of 24. Yeah, 10 years. I think it's 10 season now in League, or 11, I don't know. So, and when I played, and then a girl come in, like, in a random lobby, or they found some girl who played, it was just like, it's a rare thing. It's like you find the, I don't know, I cannot pop the game from top of my head, but it's just like you find the diamond. It's just like, it's rare, it's not everywhere, it's like you have to really look for it, like, so yeah. And then, of course, the reaction of the guys on that girl, on her, was just like they were all over her. It was just like, for me, I was like already 24, so I didn't have this, so I need to, I want something from her, la 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 la. But the younger ones was like all over her. And then I never really get why. I was like, that is to be respected and accepted. It's just like, all right. But in a way, also, I remember it's just like, yeah, gaming is for boys, and cooking is for girls, in that manner. So while we learn to game, they should learn what to cook. uh, yeah. I mean, look. To be honest, in back in the days, right? That were like, whichever competition, it looked like no girl. It was like just something they don't do. And it was like, um it's super super rare. And then, you know later on, when now more and more girls play, and they also stream, and then it's, probably Wiki will have can share more about that. But I see it's just a sad approach from the guys, like, yeah, I think I can say that, mainly disrespectful approach from guys. So Vicky, you can share more about that, how it is actually for you, being a gamer girl and playing multiplayer, and then you pop into a lobby where there is mostly guys.
It's not always a fun experience, I can tell you that. As a girl, I tend to not even join voice chats because comments are usually very mean and rude, and you usually hear comments like, "Oh, you're a female, go back to the kitchen," or "We have a girl on our team, now we're gonna lose," or something along those lines. And I see a lot of other girls that don't have the courage to stand up for themselves get very harassed online and very downgraded, where a lot of males, not everyone, but many, say very harsh things like, I hope you die. Yeah, I hope you get hurt in somewhat ways. And the gaming community is not always very friendly to females. And I also feel like that's why a lot of girls are scared of playing a lot of multiplayer games and try to stick to games that males think are more for girls. For example, like Sims, because that is a typical female games in boys' eyes, that girls should play games like that and not Call of Duty or Counter Strike and someone.
Yeah, got it. And chat, by the way, you can include as well, right? Like how you see it, with if there is any uh, women in there, you can share how you what you experience. So like let's open this conversation and hope let's bring some of these taboo topics out and shred them into pieces that they're actually very disrespectful in a way. And how does that leave you, Vicky, with all those comments being there?
I would say in the beginning, it got me very sad. I got very afraid of playing video games that I didn't want to portray myself as a female. When I used to play MMO games, like open worlds type of games, I tend to make male characters to when I made characters that was more male dominant, for example, characters that do deal damage and not heal, because it was portrayed that females has to go healing. I tend to not say that I'm a female, and if boys ask, "Oh, are you a girl or a boy?" in voice chat, I sometimes say, "Oh yeah, I'm a boy. I'm 12," because
Mm.
then I got more shit talked for my gameplay than for being a female, if I put it that way.
All
So
right.
it is different and very harsh. It's a harsh world out there.
Yeah, right. Especially gaming, which happens online, and it's
Yeah,
and
they can hide behind a screen and they don't really
mm,
get consequences for what they say.
yeah. Well, Marcho is saying in the chat he's down to get carried in a FPS by a female. So, and he's a really good Call of Duty player. So I guess
There are some good ones out there. There are some good ones out there.
definitely right. The exceptions make the rules, or what's the
Exactly.
expression? But yeah, so maybe for you, Emma and Dula, when you hear it, like, what are you left with, right?
Mm. Yeah, I've never thought of it that way, because I used to play a little bit, but just because my sister is also a gamer girl, and then I was like, oh, I want to try to, but I never played in a games that I would have to, I don't know, use voice chat or anything. And I primarily played with friends, so they all knew who I was, and I was like, I know what I'm doing. Um so like that, and I got like away with all the bullshit I did. And yeah, I never actually thought of that it is so challenging, as you say. I mean, as I got it um from what you say, Vicky, that that they're so mean. I always thought that, all right, there is that part where they're all sleazy and, oh my god, the girl, oh Jesus, and that they get maybe sexually inappropriate, in that way, that you're challenged with that. But yeah, I never thought that, you know, there's actually a big part of community, of gamers community, or however, that are saying, I hope you get hurt, or something like that. Because I think that's just on a level of a human, and I'm not very, you know, I have a lot to say in that area, and yeah, I don't want to get into it, but yeah, I never, I never played with random people, if I say like that. Yeah, and I do love Sims, but I do love every game which is kind of like interior design or whatever. Even Minecraft, I would play on peaceful mode and stuff like that, because
Sims
I
is the
don't.
best game.
Yeah,
It
It's
is.
but because I don't like adrenaline, you know. I think this is the main thing that's like guys like adrenaline more. Because if I'm in a game, I get very it's very real for me. So whatever is happening there, whoever's shooting me, or even there's a wolf attacking me, or stuff like that, I'm gonna take it as, oh my god, this is real, and get really carried away by it. So and I don't like that adrenaline rush. I don't like the roller coasters and stuff like that. So I'm more of a Sims. Let's arrange this little house of mine. So that's from my side how I see it.
All right, and what are you
That's
left
so
with from what Vicky shared?
um, to be honest, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Mhm.
We hear you.
To be honest, it makes me sad and angry, but I'm really not surprised. Um, and you know that I'm all about girl power and power lady new brand and everything. So I really want to support ladies to do whatever they want to do, and there's no like manly things you cannot do. I can say I did a lot of things in my life that are for men, like fighting and all that stuff. But I remember that when I was training in the clubs where there are mostly guys, I would be like, okay, I, I I accepted the reality that I need to be like 120% better than them and more dedicated to be actually on the same level, to be accepted. So that's why I always trained really hard, and I everything like 120%. And so I wouldn't say that's healthy really, but that's one thing that got me to the um, I know international championships and to the World Cups and everything. So yeah, there are pluses and minuses, but um, we cannot, like, I saw it as I cannot change them, but if I want to play in this game, I need to do something, to like step up my game and just get their respect basically.
Mm.
So I don't know, Vicky, if it's the same with gaming when you're really like a badass, they maybe like respect you, or it's still the same story.
I would say both yes and no. Um, there are some times where you get highly endorsed for being a female and really good at the video game, or you get shit talked for that as well, that you don't deserve to be in this elo, like the rank you are in, or you are cheating or something like that, or that no, you're not a girl because girls can't play video games. I would say it's both, that you either get endorsed or you get um talked negatively too. So it's a 50-50.
Yeah, it's just like there is some pre-assumption, right? Like this is what I'm present to, like, right? The gaming world is for guys, just like football is, for guys, and ballet is for girls. So ballet, if you girls do a ballet, that's okay. And football, it's like guys world. If guys do it, is okay. If girls do it, something wrong with her. Yeah, Marcha, no worries. I'll answer you. I just waited for it's like Vicky is a fellow gamer. We played together the Eco, and that is basically how we met, through Mike Wood and his Discord server. That is it. Anything else you want to say, Vicky, about you, for the people who are watching and don't know you because you're not a regular?
um I have a lot of years when it comes to playing video games. I grew up playing video games because I have 3 older brothers that all played Xbox and PS1 and PS2 and God knows what. So I've been in the gaming environment since I was a little girl.
Mm.
That there's that.
All right, cool. That is that. That is why I invited her to be part of this, right? Women in gaming, because she is an experienced gamer that Ula and Emma are not. So this is how podcasts go. We come up with a topic, and if we don't have the how to say, the people who do it, we find people who do it, and we can still have a great conversation around it. So yeah, Mr. JP said, I agree with Emma with adrenaline rush, and I'm too competitive, too much stress for me. So yeah, but I'm like, when she says that, I'm like, I never saw her. I never saw her being really competitive. How it looks like. So I believe her on her words, but it would nice to get a proof. Experience it.
That shows up in a game, and like, we got die,
And Mr. JP said, I missed the beginning of this conversation, but it's kind of paradox. Gaming is for guys, but every guy wants a girl who also plays games. Right? That is like that, exactly. Like, that is it. Oh, Monopoly. Oh yeah. I mean, all right, it wasn't a video game. We play Monopoly, and I really crushed her. And she did. We are not playing Monopoly since then. She's like, that's the thing. We're not gonna play together. At least not 1-on-1. She wasn't all right with losing in Monopoly. Like, for that was it for that night. So yeah, all right, I remember now. And yeah, it's just like what Mr. JP said about, right, every guy who games like would like to have a girl who games, because it's just like, you would be accepted, respected, and she wouldn't mind because she knows gaming takes hours. It's not like, I go to play basketball and you're back in top 2 hours because, every day. I'm talking about every day, because playing basketball for 6 hours a day, rarely, there are rare humans who can really do it, playing it, right? You can hang out on the court or besides on the side of the court, but playing it, right? But when you play games, there is no you're hanging out on on the side of the court. You're all the time in the court. So yeah, and it needs it's either two things. A woman needs to really love you, or she really understands the thing. Love is always there, but then either she comes for the world and she gets it, or if she doesn't come, then she really like accept and respect. And I guess it goes both ways. So you give her that, so whatever she's doing, you're okay with it, and then that has no problem. But yeah, right, Marco. Sometimes we do sweating 20 hours plus a day. So yeah, but let's talk about, if I would ask you, Ula and Emma, just like, if I would ask you, let's play a video game together. What is the first thing that pops to your mind?
Oh shit, I can't. I'm not gonna be good enough, and I'm gonna make a total mess, and you'll be like, that kind of like being afraid of it.
That you will fail and people will mock you.
Yeah.
Ula?
Well, I'm like that. If I play something, I'm gonna do everything to win. So first,
That's a
if
great
somebody
mindset.
says it's impossible, I'm gonna do like I guess I got it from my board. I'm gonna do 120%. I'm gonna, I don't know, jump on my head if necessary, to win the game. It's just like that. I'm very super competitive. So I'm not, even if I lose, I'm not gonna play again, or like that. But I'll be like, next time I'm gonna find a solution. So I'm gonna do something else, and I'm gonna win that. So that would be my answer. Not the answer, the mind process.
Yeah, I get it, right? And now you and Mr. JP said, so we are too competitive. So it's something like, all right, this is not the area to put in my life. I'm over competitive. A lot of hours might go in, right? Because you start from zero and then you have to level up, especially if you didn't game before. Um, and then the other side is what Emma also shared. Yeah, like I'm not gonna do it because I will fail, and then people will mock me. And yeah, it's just present that there is not equal option. Like
Hmm.
we're supposed to be living in a world of equality, but it's just not it. Even though, even if you look out through the competitions in gaming, just like mostly men.
Hmm.
Here and there, a girl pops in, but rarely in the top team. Like they're usually subs. And so yeah, Ula, you okay? Your camera dropped off. All right, you're back,
Hmm.
or loading back. So so Vicky, how do you see the competitive gaming? Like, why do you think it's so hard for girls, women to get into be the top tiers? I mean, there are few top tier girls on the planet that they were really good, but mostly not champions. So
I feel it has to do with that a lot of girls, well, from my experience as well, is that they are afraid to put everything into gaming and streaming
mhm,
because they it's not something that society really tells them to do. It's more acceptable now, but if you look back 10 years ago, it was basically only males. But
mhm,
I just feel it's a very rare sight to see a female gamer playing alone and really pushing it to the limit, like really getting up into the high ranks and being accepted by boys. Because the few girls that get up in high ranks, what I've seen at least, is that males don't want to accept that a girl can be just as good or even better at the game that they are playing. That it's not something that can happen. And I feel like that scares a lot of girls from really getting into competitive gaming, at least. Because it is competitive gaming that is in esports and not casual games like Sims and Minecraft and more relaxed type of memory games and building games.
Hmm. Hmm. You know what I'm also getting from what you're saying? I mean, kind of just popped in that it's this, as also as Yarne said before, gaming is for men, or boys or whatever, and it is kind of, maybe they take it as a threat to their masculinity.
Yeah,
If a girl wins, oh my god, then he's not good enough. He's not the man he thought he was, even though it's just a game, but kind of real threat. So they get,
I would say it
taken.
has to do a lot with how their masculinity is portrayed. If it feels like their masculinity is maybe getting damaged, they get very defensive.
Mm.
Uh, because from my experience, there have been a lot of males that maybe have um, a higher pitched voice or having their are a part of the LGBT community and somewhat, and they also tend to get very harassed just because they're not portraying the masculinity they are so-called supposed to have. So I feel like it has to do a bit with how your masculinity is getting like damaged or whatever when it comes to gaming, that a female can be better or has more followers or is doing better and so on.
yeah, and Marcha just shared like on a pro that is happening also on a pro level. So he said there was an incident in League of Legends where a full female team got mocked by the males they were playing against. The males banned 5 supports and got DQ'd for mocking them. So it happens even on like actual pro levels of gaming. And I think it was like it's just what you guys shared. It's just about the being a threat. This is a guy's thing, right? and our girl come in, so she's threatening, whatever this is, which actually doesn't exist because it's nothing. It's like it's a bubble, you know, like a soap bubble. It doesn't exist. It's nobody owns it, right? So, but in a way, in the world of guys, a couple of years ago, now more and more, it's like it's okay. It's it's really threat. Just like Vicky said, if a girl's beat you, then damn, man, if I'm so if everything else in life I'm failing, and then I supposed to be good in gaming, and then this girl pop by and she beats me, it's like, what am I good? What am I uh like usable for? I'm right. And on the other side, I get that, right? Especially the war games, like where there is killing and stuff like that. It's like, because we don't do that much now in reality, like 10,000 years ago, 20,000 years ago, right? Roman Empire and some other empire crushed into each other. There were men fist on fist, basically sword on sword, like besides the archers, and rarely, or there were no women in there, right? And nowadays, since we don't have that, I mean, there are armies, but we all know the wars nowadays are like, doesn't make any sense. It's like, to be honest, but the gaming world gives you the opportunity to leave that adrenaline, to leave that rush. Then you come into, let's say, a war zone in Call of Duty in there, and then you get killed by a girl. It's just like, you know, who is the warrior here? I should be the warrior, Shouldn't be beaten by a girl. I mean, yeah, here and there are, girls who can basically also beat a lot of guys, like we have Ula here. So, she can probably beat everybody here watching this. And me, if we go 1-on-1, just have no idea how to fight. But when it comes to gaming, that shouldn't be the issue, right? So, and that is um Marta just said, I also lose to a girl every Monday. She's referring to Emma not accepting his date invite. But, right, in yeah, and but I think it's more like it's from a guy's, it comes like you just need to accept, look, if, like Mikey just shared, Vicky beats me 1 versus 1 in Overwatch all day every day. And it's like, yeah, his ego could be crushed, or if he puts in the reality, he goes like, okay, Vicky, how many hours have you played Overwatch? She would say, I don't know. How many hours, Vicky? Do you know?
I would say maybe 3,000.
All right, 3,000, right? And he puts in 10 hours, right? Because you come as a guy, it's like, you're really not being realistic. You're being like, all right, she's a girl, I should beat her, but she has 3,000 hours of experience, and I have 10. So, whoever is on the other side with that amount of hours of experience should carry the day against me anytime, right? And the Kuro says, it's odd because all my experience as a gamer girl was always good. Guy seems to be even more interested in talking to a girl about games and stuff. I mean, I guess besides Vicky, you're one lucky girl. To
There are a
experience
few
only that.
moments where it is good. I can say that. There are a few moments where uh, you don't really see the toxicity,
Mhm.
but the toxicity, you remember it more often, I would say. If, for example, if you have 10 games, maybe I would say 6 of those there will be some sort of harassment to a girl, either to me or to another girl in the team. But I also think it depends on what type of game you play. For example, I play a bunch of Overwatch where communication in voice chat is something that happens a lot, and seeing a girl on a typical hero that is very very female and very very a character that a lot of boys identify as a female character, the girls that play that character and maybe do poorly, usually get harassed. So I would say it depends on what type of game you really play and what type of mode, if it's more casual or if it's more competitive.
Hmm. All right, Marta said. I mean, you have a decent human beings out there. You have the memers who just want to fuck around with you, and then you have douchebags. And look, to be honest, right, in gaming, especially competitive gaming, right, there is a lot of toxicity regarding whether you're a man or a woman. I would say maybe women just get it more because it's more threatening to guys, like we said before, right? That's how I see that. Because in
I would
casual
also say,
gaming, yeah. Sorry, Vicky, say.
oh, sorry. I would also say that it's different when it comes to a female and a male, where males usually get talked badly, like badly about their gameplay, while when it comes to females, they usually criticize that they are a female and not the gameplay they do. And I would
Mhm.
say you can never get away from toxicity because there will always be toxicity. And if you're a girl, boy, male, female, or whatever you want to be, you will always get criticized. But I would say the criticism for females are usually because they are a female and not because of the gameplay they are doing, while males usually get criticized for their gameplay more.
Yeah. Yeah, and we could do a whole another podcast on toxicity in gaming. It's just like it's abnormal. But I would say what I want to say. I don't know. Lost the thought. There is how it goes. All right. Marcel, I mean, as long as you ain't too disrespectful or you don't take the joke too far, even the memers can be fun to be around with, sometimes even more than with the kind people. I mean, yeah, but you know, those kind of guys I would say are like when you know people or you at least know a little bit of them, you just don't go rush into something and start messing up with the people. Right? It's like you a little bit know them and you see they're cool about it, so then you know you can level the limits, right? And the Gremlin says, well, I remember when we started playing COD Modern Warfare 2 multi, there was a girl gamer called iReeps, and she was the best of all quick scopers in the game, and we all admired her, and we were watching her videos and learning from her. I mean, yeah, right? Decent guys do that. And I'm sure she gets some undecent, some douchebags in there, all right? So, Marcho, this is the guy.
This is the
Z
guy.
Z Gremlin is the guy of you know,
You know.
you know, you know.
Oh, I'm there.
Yeah, you're there. Right. I know, panic. All right. Anyway, Vicky, to fill you in, so Marshall is like about he was like in favor of Emma and asking out for a date, and Z Gremlin is her boyfriend. So and look, see the guys are cool about it. So yeah, nah. And Marcho is the memer. We all know that. So
At least he tried, right? At least he
yeah,
tried.
yeah, at least that.
I mean, it's a lot of laughs all the time,
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
pretty amazing. So
A for effort. A for effort.
Exactly. But Vicky, do you know any gamer girl that, like, I don't know, or maybe even you, right? What are the consequences on that goes on then? What are you left with? Like, because you really love the game and then you go play the game and being just like, the toxicity happens and like you said before, they wish you to die, they wish you to, all certain things and wanted to do to you all certain things. It's just like what are the consequences? Because I think people are not aware of like what actually how that impacts the person on the other side.
For me, in the beginning, as I said, when I was younger, I took it very deep to my heart. But as I grew up, I learned that the people that usually say these types of things are either 12-year-old boys that have no friends and are very sexually confused, or it is some 30-year-old man living alone in his mom's basement. It's usually one of those twos. And nowadays I don't get really offended, but still hearing negative things being said to you just because you are a female, um it makes you question a lot of things, and of course you get a bit hurt. But I would say I personally don't take it too hard. I usually either joke around about it, or I have friends in a lobby with me that either speak up, or we just report them and move on. But for girls that never really got into the tough scenarios and are too scared to speak up, I've talked to a bunch of them, and they are really afraid and they are really, really hurt. And some of them struggle with a lot of anxiety and depression in real life because of it, because a lot of people use gaming as an escape because they have a tough time at home, or because it is their hobby, like it's mine. And when they start the video game, all they hear is all these negative things: how they are bad, how they are not worth living, how they should go and die, and all these negative things. A lot of them take them really deep to their heart, and um, do things either to themselves or struggle a lot with emotions, I would say. And I feel like having a great support system, like a bunch of friends like I have now you, and I have Mike, and I have all these people I game with. Having people like that around you really helps you um, build up a safety net and become stronger as a person, because if you play competitive games, it is really hard out there for a female, I would say. But it is some great times. Like, I met Mike through competitive games, and he's a really great friend of mine now. So I have to say there are a bunch of great guys out there, and kudos to you, all of you. But I just feel like everyone just needs to get together and fight the bad communities, you know? And of course you too, Milky. I just saw you. Of course you as well. Um I just feel like the community needs to come together and fight the little boys that are very sexually confused, I would say, since they are the ones that usually sit and ask for Snapchats or Instagram or whatever they now want to DM you on and have pictures from you and stuff.
Yeah, exactly, right. This is actually the meaningful conversation now. So we can talk about, what somebody says, and how it happens and when it happens. But I think if we would um, put more thoughts into what impact is actually causing, right? Because it's so easy to type die, or you're supposed to be in the kitchen. Why do you hold controller? I mean, that's easy to type, but it's just out there. And if that's like somebody likes to play basketball, comes to the court, and you just shove them off the court and say, hey, you can't play here because you're not good enough, or because your ball is not the right color, or whatever, right? It's
Yeah.
like, because you're a female, you shouldn't be on the court. This is only male court, even though nowhere it's a sign it's a male. So, and then the consequences, what you said, like, right, you take it to your heart because because you like to do it. It's just like natural. Even I take it, when you put your effort in, and then people just say you play bad, and then you gotta first go like, all right, I really did play bad. That one thing is hard to admit, but it's still hard to hear, like, when there comes in the toxicity. Oh, you did that, you la 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 la, right? And I was toxic too. Before in League of Legends, especially. That's why I stopped to play. Bring the worst out of me.
Everyone have been toxic. Everyone have been
Yeah,
toxic.
right. It's like we are not sharing from point. We are saints here. That's not the point. That this is not it, right? This podcast is not about we have demigods and we are all nice and loving and accepting people, but just like doing it and being on the other side of it. It just comes up like, all right, we can either be quiet or have a chat about it, and maybe that moves something.
Yeah.
Um,
I would say it's okay to be toxic because toxicity will always be there,
mm,
but it depends on what you do with it. Like if you criticize someone's gameplay and just say, "Oh, you're bad at the game. Maybe you should switch to this, or maybe you shouldn't play this game," then that's fine, you know. But when people start jumping the gun and saying you're bad because you're a little boy, you're bad because you're a girl, or taking it personal, I feel like that's where you have to put a foot down because toxicity will never go away. And toxicity is fine, in my opinion, as long as it doesn't go overboard where it's criticizing someone for who they are.
mm.
Mm.
Yeah, Marcia just said you can't fight the bad community since it's all online and in real life, and online personalities are so different. And the bad community feels like it's so much bigger since, as you said, there are no consequences. People just take their anger out on strangers just because they can. Keyboard warriors. Yeah, I mean, and then he wrote, well, you can try, but it's hard. And I think, yeah, all right, we all been toxic, and I think that is why we are having this chat about it. That is why, Vicky, I would also say you said yes to it because you've been on the both sides, and that is usually all right. I experienced the both sides, and now I know how it is, and now I want to do something about it. So start with the conversation, and then let's look at maybe speak more to you. Look, these are the consequences, and I cause those consequences on the people as well. So like I said, now I'm sorry and I apologize for it, and probably sometimes it will still goes out, just because the frustration comes out. You want to be, good at the game that you play, and then somebody kills you. You don't know if it's a guy or a girl, and then immediately comes like, I shouldn't die. This got to be a cheater, hacker, especially if the game is like that, like Call of Duty now. So
cheater or hacking.
Yeah, right. But that's like the least toxicity that you can have more and more. So, but the consequences that you said, right? People doing their hobbies and then they go depressed and anxiety kicks in, and it's so easy to say, oh, they should be more strong, they shouldn't be affected by it. And yeah, you won't be affected if somebody says one times or two times something to you, right? But when it comes like on and on and on, just like it's hard. You just and that is the sad part about it. It's not the toxicity and saying, oh, you should go back in the kitchen, but it's actually possibly also killing somebody's dreams. Just like, and not taking responsibility in it, in a way of, all right, there might be a good gamer girl out there and I just gave her shit because she's a woman. How would I feel to be in her shoes, right? So easy to judge, to come and opinionate and put it there. So Marcho, right? Anyone who kills So Z Gremlin said, I stopped playing LOL because of toxicity because I started being toxic. Yeah, right? It's like if you can beat them, you join them. And in gaming world, that is like, even if you come in as the best good guy, if you're out there in a chat, it's like, it's inevitable, almost inevitable. You really have to be a strong and I would say a formed person and who knows what he's getting into, that doesn't pull you in, because otherwise it does, right? So Mike said there is a way to fight it. Educate the people who are responsible for making sure that these kids grow up with a sense of humanity and responsibility and respect towards other human beings. Yeah, right. I mean, I get that, and this is where it starts. We all are responsible. It's like, this is it. We all are responsible for it, right? We can go with the gaming developers, like, you should do something about it. And then it's like, all right, that's their responsibility. And then we can
The
go,
only thing
women,
they
you
can
should
do
do
is ban.
something about it. It's women responsibility. Sorry, Vicky, you said what?
I said the only thing developers really can do, like the owners of the game, is put up a ban system. But what is that really gonna do?
Mm.
They get banned for a few weeks or a few days for saying something bad, but then they're right back at it. You know, if you ban their account, they will get a new account. So I would say putting the fault on the developers because the community is toxic, I feel like that's the wrong way to go. It is the community that is toxic. It's not the developer's fault. It's their game. That's it. And they can't really sit and babysit all of their 10,000 players and sit at every single game live and be like, oh, this person just insulted a female. Okay, insta ban. What's that really gonna do? You know, it's like, okay, he will have a new account in like 2 hours. He's gonna steal his mom's credit card and buy a new account, and then he's back at it again. You know,
Mm.
um, so it is more of a everyone needs to focus on themselves, and of course, be toxic if you want to be toxic, but don't bring in gender and like who someone is and stuff about them. But I also feel like jumping in and protecting other people should be more a common thing, because what I see personally is if a male jumps in, either it stops because there's another male actually protecting the female, or that male also gets shit talked and gets called words like simp, which is a male that really idolizes a female or goes after a female and like looks up to her and does whatever he wants for a female, or he calls a white knight someone that protects. So I would say either it stops, or even males gets harassed for protecting a female, which is just common sense. Like if someone getting harassed, it's common sense to protect someone, no? Like it doesn't matter if you know them or not, especially in video games. Why should I or any girl or anyone have to leave a game, mute the chat, or mute the voice chat just because one little boy wants to be toxic? Why should I have to mute things so he wins in the arguments? And why does not everyone just speak up and tell that person to stop? And I feel like that's very important to bring up, because everyone needs to be a part and like stand up for everyone so it doesn't continue. And yes, Mike, you are a wise knight.
Yeah. Right, and yeah, Marcia, that word is a toss that Vicky just used, but she used it in explanatory way. So I would say it's not something we will get banned for. But yeah, if she would be saying that to somebody, then we will have to go like, Vicky, I need you to remove yourself from but yeah, it's all right. And Marshall said, and a lot of chat agrees with him, so already the problem is that modern education isn't all that well taught in esports, aka games. There's almost none to teach anyone, since you basically learn as you go, and most of the young people who come into gaming come into an already toxic environment, and they also become toxic, and the cycle continues since we are the new generation who plays games daily, etc., since these things weren't really a thing when our parents or older people were young. Yeah, right. I don't even remember when toxicity starts, but I know that when I was young, like I said, I didn't play a lot of multiplayer games, so I don't know. But at 23, 24, when I started playing LoL, in the beginning there was no toxicity. It was like joking between us, between friends. But then suddenly at one moment it all pops out when it comes to a ranked, when it comes to the elo stuff, the who is better, the champs, and then people want to get better, and then somebody else in the team does something that might endanger your victory, and this just goes up, and yeah, not educated about it. You're just putting so much meaning into it, like like you literally gonna die if you don't succeed. And then I mean, being a girl in gaming world is just like it's another reason to be toxic against. It's just like the easiest way. You don't even need to put much thought into it. You're just like, all right, she's a female. Let's go get her. It's like a witch hunting, something like that.
Almost feels like it sometimes.
Right. So maybe again, question for you, Emma and Ula. Like, what are you? It's a similar as before, but what are you left with? Like, what do you see or experience maybe out there in real world you can compare it to, or anything that you guys are present?
I want to leave this to Ula first.
I was present to memory when you were saying that it's so bad for a guy to get beat up in a game by a girl. I remember one time when we were having sparrings, boxing, and there was a guy who was like 30 kilos heavier than me, much bigger and everything, but I got lucky. I get strong, but my technique was really precise. So I punched him with a hook on his chin, and he like dropped on his knee, and he needed a few seconds to get up. And it was in the middle of the full gym, and he got like his ego went so on fire that he was like he knew that it's not okay to hit me with his all power, duh. But after that, he was just waiting for this one punch to really get me, and he did. I was flying like 3 meters on my ass. I just saw the stars. It was really bad. But yeah, I saw in his eyes like I need a revenge. I need a revenge. That was so bad for his ego. And yeah, it's something similar, like the gaming situation.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, maybe his survival mechanism, but ego was definitely in there. Women should not do this to me. So I know I can go soft on her, but since she put me down on my knees, I'm,
Yeah, that's done. Deal done.
it's like whatever it takes.
Mm.
But yeah, it's funny. Like just maybe what I shared before. It's just like this comparison, right? It's a warrior thing, and mostly all guys are like, it's out in our DNA. We are warriors. Not that far ago, there were wars like every year. Even though the period since the World War One to nowadays is the longest period that Earth been in a war. Like the entire Earth has a war on one place, because before there were like periods. There was a wartime and peace on the whole planet, and then a wartime and peace. But the last since the World War One till nowadays, there is war somewhere going all the time, non-stop. So that's what historians say. So that also said a lot about why we are where we are, and about what Marcia said before, the toxicity we are in, and now just the cycle continues. So Emma.
Yeah. I had another thought like a while ago, or maybe something. Well, gotten lost a little bit in my mind flow. But because you said that that you don't remember when toxicity started, right? And I was just thinking maybe it's really about when you're playing with friends, and exactly that, you can the other person, who you're playing with, and it's a lot different than when you come to ranked or whatever, that there's a bunch of new people and they don't know you, so this can come forward with as they don't know you, so they can be whoever they want to be, as was mentioned before, and you can they can hide behind it. And I want to say how fun it's sometimes to watch, because when my boyfriend plays, I get to see a lot of these report. Look at him, making the codes and everything. So and it's so it kind of feels like you're kind of lunatic, because it's just a game, and it seems like you're fighting with some windmills. It's so not real, and it's really, how to say that, hmm, important, maybe, how this is also real world, right?
Mhm.
So no matter what happens, there is always feelings, always, stuff are happening, and you get affected. As you said, there is impact on other people. And yeah, how actually some little men moving around on the screen can get you in such a rage, like, ban him out, don't let him play again.
Well,
So this
only gamers can answer you, and they did. It's just a game. Like,
yeah,
you serious? It's life and death, like Vicky
I
said,
know.
right?
No, don't attack me. I know, but yeah, I mean, it's really fun to just be like observer. I am, you know. Also, if you put me in situation like that, I'm gonna be out of my mind. And I was a lot of we had Skype calls while playing League of Legends, and I
Mm.
used to be like, oh my god, to myself, I was already like, shut up, do you need to scream all the time here? So, so I know, I got it, but it's fun to watch someone, so I get that entertainment.
Yeah. I mean, watching somebody else is always entertaining. It's like, especially if they're like expressed all the time. It's like you can get a lot of fun. And then here is a debate in chat that the Gremlin says that girls are stronger than boys, and Vicky agreed in every way. So, and then Mikey said, yeah, true, and it's just a simple fact of what girls need to go through just living in this world. And the line that popped in my mind was from the movie 300, where that messenger from these Xerxes, the who were the Persian Empire, which were like spreading all around, came in, and the Queen of Sparta spoke, and he said, why is she speaking here? And then she said, because only a Spartan woman gives birth to a Spartan man, right? And and in that moment, it's just like, that's it. They are, they I mean, and you know what, actually, to be honest here, I'm sick and tired of this comparison between men and who is more stronger, who is better. It's just tiring conversation. It's just like you will never prove it. There's like, you cannot prove it because you have to put 7.5 billion people to a test. It's just like the statistics will leave out somebody who is extraordinary on their own, and it will be unfavorable. It will be a generalization, and it's like, it's just why, why in my head, like, being lazy guy also thinks about what are the things that I don't need to think about, so my energy don't go there. So this is one like comparison. And just, and yeah, if I would say anybody who's listening is just like, watching this or will watch later on, just like what Vicky said, if we all say, to those people, shut up, this is not a place or time to express it. If you have something to say it to the people that will actually make a difference to, And if you're angry with yourself, then all right, be angry with yourself, and, don't take it out on others. I mean, don't take it out in others in that way. You go and disrespect somebody or stuff like that. If it's something going on in a relationship, like this morning, it was something between me and Ursha, and all the things with Granddad and every other project I'm involved to, it's like a little bit of breakdowns. For me, it exists as a breakdown, right? For others, it may be like, he's living such an amazing life. And then I went like a little rampage on Ursha. It was like, and but that was just me throwing things out, and then I apologized, and it's like, it's not, it's, but when you do that online, it's, you don't get the opportunity to apologize, or even if you have, you won't do it because you have to be right. It's like, so maybe to go into, you can be right about things, or you can be toxic about things, or you can be respectful, loving, accepting human being, and the choice is ours. And yeah, nothing is wrong if you're toxic here and there. That's, it's okay. Then, as much as you were toxic, just at least be that man or that woman in that manner and go and apologize for the things. Because, it comes out of our own frustration and dissatisfaction, or not being fulfilled, or being unhappy. Something happened that doesn't even matter to the things that are going on right now, mostly being reactivated. And yeah, this needs to be stopped in a way, and more people will speak and stop it, the less it will happen. Like in every area, it's not just gaming. Gaming is one area where women are on the downside, but there are many areas, and there are areas where men are on the downside. It's just that it's a women profession. Like there's no place for men. Or if you go to a social caretaker in Slovenia and you go through a divorce as a man, you're immediately on the downside. Doesn't even matter did you do something or didn't do. It's like you will be the one who will be trash talked down like you're a piece of shit, like anything. So
I think
that's
silence hurts the most in it as well. That,
yeah.
for example, me, if I sit in a lobby and I get shit talked, so you're 6 people, then you have 4 others just sitting there listening, and you're aware of it. And I feel like that hurts more than hearing the words coming out of the person's mouth, because sitting there hearing words being just slurred out and then 4 people just not doing anything, that is more painful than the words itself. And that's why I also think it's very important that everyone speaks up about it, because the silence is not gonna help. It's just gonna let the person that harassed win every fight. So yeah,
there's this saying, the bad things in the world doesn't exist because bad people does it, but it's because good people are silent about it. Yeah, and it's easier, right? It's not my business. Don't stick your neck out. That is also how you were raised, right? Don't interact. That's not your business. Leave it be. You'll get hurt if you will interact, and then out of that fear, you're rather like, all right, not my fight. I'm gonna leave it alone. When in the whole grand picture of human being society, it's yours as much as it's theirs. So yeah, and like Gramley says, and Mikey, like, well, if not comparing girls versus boys, just read this. We all respect each other, and everybody love everybody. Yeah.
Or you just get someone like Mike and Milky to white knight every single time. That works as well.
And just what Marcho wrote is also like, everyone retaliates to that differently. You have the silent ones, but most of the people's defenses mechanism is reacting with toxicity, and you have that magical circle once again. So yeah, it's just like it's a vicious circle, and it's because we are all, it doesn't matter man or woman, but it's just like, these threats are so real. It's like, since you were a little baby, I'm like, I can go like now and working with little ones. Ty is 5 months old, and you already talk to him like he understands you. Be careful of that. Don't do that. He doesn't understand shit. He just hears. That's what he hears. He has no language transmitter yet in his brains. He understands the energy. He understands the, stuff like that. But if you will say to a 5-month-old, be careful, he won't. But up until age of 7, if it will be only be careful, be careful, be careful, you'll get hurt, be careful, you will get hurt, be careful, you'll get hurt, be careful, you will get hurt, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. Then by the age of 7, all his mechanism is having in the head is like, be careful, don't do that, be careful, be careful. And then, you want to do something, really be good about it, and then somebody smashed that down. I'm hurt, my mom, the mechanism goes out, and then that happens what Marcia said. And it's And yeah, when you're older, you gotta be okay. My parents raised me, they raised me, but now I'm like, 18, 19, 52, 35, however old you are. Now it's your responsibility what flies out of your mouth or what you do. And yeah, you were raised up as you were raised up. That doesn't mean you need to be harsh on a girl or a man. Just like, and that shows up so brilliantly in the world of gaming. It's just like, and it's sad. It's nowadays, like me looking on it, is sad. And the other thing is there, like Vicky said before, you have these young generations comes up, and their level of respect is, man, you need to earn.
It's
Yeah.
none.
Yeah, you really need to earn it that they will respect you, and they will still put you down. They want to be like, just because we come with a with approach like be equal to them, but it's like a loose thing out there right now. And in gaming, it shows so much. It's just like have a 12-year-old saying fuck, fuck, fuck all the time. Disrespect you all the time. Doesn't matter how old you are, how cool you are with them. It will just come up. Just yeah.
Yeah, kids nowadays.
Yeah, right. But they're the mirror of the society. I always say that. Whenever somebody says kids are like that, yeah, but they didn't come like that on their own. Nobody is born like that. Look yourself in the mirror and see what you do, how you show them what the adult is. And then you look how adults talk to each other. They will just exaggerate because they're kids. They will multiply it by 10. And if there will be intelligent conversations, like intelligent, also the empathical, like emotional intelligence, stuff like that, intelligent conversations going on between us adults, they will multiply that by 10. And then you get the society you want to live in. So, yeah, Marcia, I got you on that. Like, yeah, say, Emma.
I'm yeah, from what Marcia said, that so that it's
I just
I'm
need
not
to go
up for
pee. I'll be right back.
all right. I'm not up for people to straight up disrespect, but I also think respect needs to be earned. I would say I find the difference here. Maybe I don't know if that's exactly the thing, but I would kind of split apart respect and honor. Like, because for me, I don't know, I would respect every person. He's a human being, and he's the way he is, and I just have this: everyone should be respected, because they're not how to say that, guilty that they came out the way they are. And as Yarne said, they have no choice to to live their life in a different way, or whatever they say. And I also, on the stuff how they act and what they say, then I get to honor them, which is now for me like the next step of respect. But I would also always respect them, but honoring, this is for me the thing that has to be earned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Whatever you said, I agree, because I know you. That's why. So probably. So yeah, I also think respect shouldn't be earned, but anything else like accepting, loving, stuff like that, yeah, that is what you earn, or that's what people gave you, or do not. But should respect each other. Just because we live, we should have the respect. Like no matter what kind of being you are, plant, animal, or human being, respect should be there always. And world will be whole another place, and it starts here with us. That's simple. All right, anything else you guys want to add for the end? No.
For the end?
Yeah.
Does the chat have anything to say, maybe?
Can you repeat that? I didn't catch it.
I said maybe the chat has anything to say, something to add.
They say respect must be earned, but if you don't know the person, that doesn't mean you can be disrespectful right at the start. And March said just switch honor and respect. Yeah.
I can
Chat.
add something
All right.
to the end.
Hola.
I remember just what my grandma used to say, you know, always do things to others that you would like others would do it to you, you know. Or the other way around, don't do things to others that you don't want to, I don't know, get for yourself. So
Yeah.
I always try to live with that idea in my head. I think that if some of us do that, like at least I don't know for now for a trial for a week, I think we can make a big difference in our society.
Straight on. And I would just say, even if you do something that, you know, you wouldn't like others to do to you, then don't act surprised when those people do that to you, you know. And maybe usually it doesn't come from the person you did it to. So I say something to Ula, and tomorrow somebody else will say something to me, and I will be like, why is he saying that to me? I don't even know a person, and he said it to me. Well, you know, what goes around comes around. So yeah, thank you, Ula, for that. I mean, not necessary, Gremlin, but you know, you can always respect, and if you get it back or not, that's on the other people, but it's more likely you will be respected. All right, this is for the official part of the podcast.